Okay, finally got the lag gone. And sorry I cut that video short, but we had a little problem with the first take of part 1, so I just wanted to cut it short just to test it. And I'm just gonna keep it up there anyway because there's not really any matches left. But there are 2 of the matches I was actually looking forward to for WrestleMania. So yeah, whatever. So besides, it probably needs a separate part to this because there's a lot that goes on in these next 2 matches. So Bret Hart. You already know where I'm going here. You already know why it's going to take a while. But Bret Hart versus Vince McMahon. The Montreal Screwjob from '97. I, of course, saw Survivor Series back then, and it was just stupid and just a robbery because we all knew Bret was going to go to WWE at the time, when there really was a Monday Night War going on. Since we had the Monday Night War Part 2, what do? They bring Bret Hart back, which is, I love it. I love the idea from day one. And I just love the fact how Bret got Vince McMahon to sign the contract for the match. Even though we all knew wrestling scripted, it was still pretty cool to see Bret Hart again. I'm just going to say that. And a lot of people probably have the same opinion for that. But, like I said before, Survivor Series 97, we all know what happened back then with Bret Hart and Vince McMahon. And, oh Lord, just watching this match was actually pretty cool. It wasn't pretty cool, it was awesome. And not only was it just Bret Hart versus McMahon, it was no holds barred, which makes it even better. And Bret Hart, well, before we go to Bret Hart, let's say Vince McMahon, we all know him, he always has a plan. He's the smart guy, he's the guy that has all the things. Besides, he's the one that owns the company. He has to have a plan for Bret Hart, obviously. So he has lumberjacks. Makes it has lumberjacks, so it's probably a lumberjack match. So we have the entire Hart family. Well, whatever's left of the Hart family, which is still pretty huge, because the Hart family is one of the wrestling dynasties, and it always has a huge amount of family. And there's still a lot of Harts there. God rest Stu Hart's soul there. If Stu Hart was there, or the British, I'm just gonna say, if the British Bulldog, Owen Hart, or Stu Hart was there, that would have been awesome. Seeing do a run in or something for that match. That would have been amazing. Man, but just rest those souls, man. But anyway, and if you noticed, Vince McMahon hired himself his own referee. That's right. If you saw that really old dude, that was Bruce Hart as the special guest referee for that match. And it's Bruce looks a lot different, to be honest. I thought it was Roddy Piper with makeup on. I'm just going to say that right now. But that was Bruce Hart you saw in the ring as referee, and that was pretty cool. But not only did you have the Hart Foundation, not the Hart Foundation, but the entire Hart clan as lumberjacks, you had the Hart Dynasty there also. And it was just, that match was just over one of the best matches I can remember. And you might say, oh, he's just like the old wrestling fan. You know what? I'm kind of mixed between it because, obviously I already mentioned Survivor Series 97. I've mentioned the Monday Night Wars, I don't remember how many times now. But it was just cool to see Bret Hart in the ring. If you have never seen Bret Hart, you were in for a treat. Stroke or not, 13 years of probably, 13 years, Bret Hart obviously had a little ring rust, but he was still the hitman, man. He was still on his game. I'm not gonna lie. With the knee injury, the stroke or not, it was still cool to see Bret Hart, and fans had a good treat that night. Not because you saw Bret Hart kick this man's ass, but you just saw Bret Hart, and that's good enough for me. Especially when Bret Hart wins with the sharpshooter, a move that we haven't seen it we haven't seen the move in forever. I'm not gonna say that, but you haven't seen it from Bret Hart forever, have you? I've always dreamed of that, seeing it one more time, and I got to see it one more time. I can take that to my grave saying, I saw Bret Hart use the sharpshooter on Vince McMahon. it was just a great moment for me, obviously, but it was a great moment for other fans of the WWE Universe. And speaking of WWE Universe, it's the main event. Oh my God. Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker 2. But what was interesting about this match, it was the streak versus the career of Shawn Michaels. The undefeated streak with The Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels' career. And, so it kind of hits home here for me. It kind of hits me to home a little bit. Because, you know, it's two fellow Texans. If you don't know, The Undertaker is from, I think, Houston, Texas. Because, you know, he's not really from Death Valley. Are you retarded? But no, he's not from Death Valley. He's somewhere in Texas. It's just great seeing, you know, not only those two Texans just because of state pride or whatever, but this is Shawn Michaels and Undertaker we're talking about at WrestleMania in the main event. And the reason it kind of hits to home a little bit more, because Shawn Michaels, well, if you haven't seen the match, I'm not going to spoil it. If you didn't see Raw, I'm not going to spoil it. I'm going to spoil it anyway, I don't care. Shawn Michaels lost, and again, even though they put up another wrestling clinic for not only the WWE Universe, but for longtime fans. And you guys in the backstage area, they're probably watching it. And, my face hurts, but whatever. Shawn Michaels lost, and if there was any person to retire Shawn Michaels, it had to be The Undertaker. Or it had to be Triple H or somebody like that. But Undertaker, it made sense. Because we knew he wasn't going to lose. Because, you know, the streak is, you know, the streak. But to end a legendary career like Shawn Michaels like that, just like that, you know, because, like, I'm not saying Shawn Michaels wasn't going to retire if they didn't do his career versus he wasn't going to leave after his career, whatever match, you know. If he did win, you know, we all knew he was going to retire soon because, you know, Shawn Michaels can't. I'm not really saying he can't hang with the big guys, but, you know, every wrestler has their time, and apparently WWE said, or Shawn Michaels, you know, because they have that backstage stuff, and I don't even know what goes on there, but, you know, Shawn Michaels, it was obviously his time. But here's the question I think of after I saw that match at WrestleMania 23 on Sunday. Now that Shawn Michaels gone, who's going to retire The Undertaker? Will he just stay undefeated at WrestleMania until he retires? You know? Because, you know, when he has that dead man gimmick, he goes everywhere. He's mysterious. You know, people love him. I love him. But The Undertaker, you know, who's going to retire The Undertaker? I mean, you have Triple H and just veterans that were there in The Undertaker's time. I mean, Undertaker Triple H again would be pretty cool too. But who's going to retire The Undertaker? And in fact, who will end the streak? Is what I ask you all. Will he retire if the streak is blemished? Because we all know The Undertaker, all his injuries and stuff. It's sad to say, but like I said with Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker's not going to be there forever. As cool as that would be if he was there forever, everyone has their time. And the question I think of is, when will it be the Undertaker's time? Who will retire him for that matter? Because there's not many of them left. There's, you know, Triple H probably would do it, or, you know, maybe Batista. I'm not sure, because see, I can't even think of names now. Maybe Edge would retire. Maybe Chris Jericho would retire him. I don't know. A lot of people wouldn't know either. But who will retire The Undertaker? It's obviously not his time now, but eventually it will be The Undertaker's time to hang up the boots. My question to you guys is, who will retire The Undertaker? Who will get Taker to pass the torch, you know? But again, Undertaker lost. Shawn Michaels' speech was awesome on Raw. Shawn Michaels retired. He's obviously going to be missed by a lot of people. But yeah, that's the end of the WrestleMania review. And yeah, that's about it. I have nothing to say to close this out. So see you guys.